Welcome back to the Edgewater Avenue YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making the Dani one piece. So before we get started, I do want to mention that this is more of an upper intermediate / advanced pattern. The directions are straightforward, but the actual application of those directions can get pretty tricky, so just be aware of that. But let's jump right in. For materials you will need swimwear fabric, 1/4 inch swimwear elastic, a cutting tool like a rotary cutter or scissors, and a seam ripper. This is also going to be a tutorial where I recommend having both a regular sewing machine as well as a serger. If you don't have both, you need to at least have a regular sewing machine. It needs to be able to do a straight stitch. You're also going to need the pattern for the Dani one piece, which is available now at edgewaterab.com. So first we're going to be cutting our pieces. Our goal is to cut 2 of each pattern piece. So if you're doing a reversible swimsuit, you're going to cut 1 in each fabric for each of your pattern pieces. Now here I did decide to cut the bottom pattern pieces on the fold, and I just printed out a whole bust piece, which I'll then cut 4 pieces of. Just saving paper here, but if it's less confusing, definitely print out all the pieces and cut 2 of each. All right, so let's put this thing together. So I'm going to match all of my pieces with the right sides together. After that, I'm going to sew the following areas. For the bust pieces, you'll sew every area except for the bottom. And I'm also going to attach elastic just to those sides, not the top. For the bottom front piece, you'll sew just the leg holes, and you're going to attach elastic there too. Just make sure that you're leaving that top waist seam untouched. Then finally for the back piece, you're going to sew both of the leg holes as well as the waistline. And again, you're going to be attaching elastic onto those seams as well. Listing out all this stuff audibly can be a little bit tricky, so if you want a concrete list, there are written directions with exactly where you need to sew and how and what. Now before I go and use my serger to sew these seams, what I like to do first is use a basting stitch. A basting stitch is a long straight stitch that's used to help tack things into place before sewing the final stitch. And we're going to be using a basting stitch later on in the video, but for now, the purpose of this basting stitch is to make sure that everything is aligned before I go on and attach elastic and use an overlock stitch. Especially since these bust pieces are really long, it can be really helpful to do this basting stitch first. So now I'm going to be using a 4-thread overlock stitch on my Babylock Evolution serger. And I mention this in every video, so I'll mention it here. If you don't know how to sew elastic, if me just saying, hey, attach elastic is very confusing to you, then you will want to watch the elastic series that I made. It goes over all sorts of commonly asked questions and techniques and troubleshooting, so I will have that linked in the description. So now all of these pieces are completed, and as you can see, I've left the areas open that needed to be. And one other note is that I did not attach elastic to that very top seam of the bust piece. It's just not necessary there. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is preparing our bust pieces. And later on, we're going to attach those bust pieces to the front bottom piece. But first, we need to prepare them. So first, take each bust piece all the way to the right side. Then you're going to use a basting stitch again, and this time you're going to sew that bottom opening closed. And remember, a basting stitch is just a long straight stitch. The way that you do this on your machine is you select a straight stitch and then increase your stitch length to as long as it can go. Also, when you sew this seam, do not back stitch at all, not in the beginning, not in the end, and you'll see why in this next step. So once you sew the bottom edge, separate the threads and you're going to pull on one individual thread at a time. You'll notice that with one of those threads, you're able to start scrunching the fabric when holding onto it. So this is why we did not backstitch. We actually want to have this effect. We are trying to ruche this bust piece. So now you're going to scrunch those bust pieces until they're at the desired width. There is a chart inside the pattern with suggestions on how wide the bust pieces should be, but this is a really good opportunity to take some creative liberty. If you want less coverage or more coverage, now is the time to decide how much or how little ruching you want. So once that ruching is looking how you want it to, our next objective is to stitch it down into place. So I'm going to go back over to my sewing machine and select a straight stitch, but this time I'm going to do a regular length of straight stitch. And I'm going to sew across that ruching, and I'm also going to backstitch at the beginning and the end because I do want this stitch to hold. So once that's finished, the prep for these bust pieces is done. And now our next objective is to attach the bust pieces into that front bottom piece, which is the one that we left that waistline open. And once we attach those together, that's going to create one unified front piece. Then later on, we will use that unified front piece and attach our front to our back and be done. But one thing at a time. So to do this, you're going to keep your front bottom piece inside out. Insert each bust piece inside, upside down so the raw edges are aligned. And you'll notice that I knotted these bust pieces, and that's just to make the amount of fabric a little more manageable. When you have so much excess, it can be tricky to operate inside the garment. So just tie some loose knots, keep it out of the way. So insert those bust pieces inside and pay attention to how you want them spaced. I found that spacing my bust pieces about 2 inches apart yields the best result for the look that I'm going for. So this is by far the trickiest seam you will have to sew for this one piece. And so don't be afraid to really divide up the process. And I'm going to be doing that by first sewing those bust pieces just to one layer of fabric. So that's why I have that other layer just folded to the side. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine. I'm going to select another long basting stitch, and I'm going to attach those bust pieces to one layer of this fabric. Once the basting stitch is done, make sure that everything's aligned, nothing's bubbling. Just make sure that you like the spacing and that you're ready to move on. So fold over that other layer of fabric, and now you're going to be sewing across all layers of that fabric. This will completely enclose the bust pieces. Now I went straight to my serger for this. I practiced this one piece a couple times and I just felt comfortable with it, but this is a good opportunity to divide the process even more. Before you go to your serger, right now you could do another basting stitch. That's up to you. I went straight to my serger, and again, I'm using a 4-thread overlock stitch to sew this seam. I chose not to attach elastic to this seam, but I do think you should consider it. It really would help it from stretching out too much. All right, we are getting there. This one piece is a lot of work. So that front piece is completely finished. It is one unified piece. So now we're just worried about our front piece and our back piece. And so now our next goal is to attach our back piece into our front piece. So to do this, I'm going to be leaving my front piece inside out, but I will take my back piece all the way to the right side. Then insert the back piece into the front piece with right sides together, and you're going to line the seams at each of the sides as well as the gusset. Now this can be tricky because remember, we still have those bust pieces inside of there. There's just a lot of fabric going on and it can get tough. So just pay extra close attention, make sure that your seams are lining up correctly and that nothing is twisted. Then once you're ready, you're going to sew both of these sides as well as the gusset. So I sewed it off camera. I chose to do a secured straight stitch, and now I'm just going to cut off that excess. So we're finally ready to take this piece to the right side. Using my seam ripper, I'm going to open up about a 2-inch hole somewhere along an existing seam. I like to put mine close to the gusset along the leg holes. Then through this hole, you're going to begin taking everything inside and bringing it to the outside. Once you're finished, you will have your swimsuit all the way to the right side. And your final step is finishing off that hole. You can either do a straight stitch just right on top, or you can stitch by hand using an invisible stitch. And here is the completed Dani one piece. This is such a classic style that's been around for a long time, and I don't see going out of style anytime soon. It can be worn in a bunch of different ways, especially because it's reversible. This pattern also features some signature Edgewater Avenue fit features, like being nice and high on the hips for that very flattering cut. So go on and purchase the Dani one piece at edgewaterave.com if you haven't already. All of October, I have a bunch of content planned, including another pattern. So just pay close attention to the YouTube, the Instagrams, the newsletter, social medias. And I'll see you next time.